And welcome to Khyber Shards, a 5th edition actual play show set in the Eberron campaign world. It is Friday, and we're back with another KSA, and we have Casey today. So we're going to get into some questions about Shade and recent episodes from our viewers. If you want to submit questions for Khyber Shards answers, you can do so in the comments down below in recent videos. We always go back and check those, or you can find a link below to our Discord, where we have a couple of channels dedicated to this show, and you can submit questions over there. Hi, Casey. How's it going?
Hi. Viewers, I should pre-apologize for the construction noises that you will inevitably hear in the background. We're getting some work done on our house. And then you will probably hear the dog respond to those construction noises because
Dogs
he
love construction.
Loves people working on his house. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That has been my experience. Dogs just love it when people bang on the walls and roof. It's just their favorite thing.
You would think after 2 weeks that you would get used to the noise and stop barking, but not Vash. Nope.
He's just becoming frustrated as to why the two humans in the house don't seem to realize that the house is under attack.
He is very annoyed that we will not do something about it. That is correct. He has gotten a lot better. I should give him some credit. He has gotten a lot better, but yes, we're trying to teach him hush, and that has not gone super well yet.
Poor buddy.
Yeah.
Well, we have just a few questions. First one is from Mia, and I'm very interested in this one. Casey, in any given situation, Shade can be counted on to be both incredibly loyal or incredibly cold. You ride that line very skillfully, making it obvious that Shade simply has lines which are very clear, but can look rude from the outside. At the same time, you make it very believable when Shade becomes concerned and hilariously judgy about any others doing something she considers rude. So the questions are, is it difficult to maintain all of those distinctions when you're playing Shade?
Yes. I have a very hard time trying to navigate who she would like and who she wouldn't, what actions she would approve of and what she wouldn't. I worry that sometimes I slip into Casey rather than Shade, because Shade is a much more... She does not care what other people think in a way that Casey very much cares. I don't want to be rude at all. So I do have a hard time writing that line, and I was very complimented, Mia, by that comment, that I do try to make it believable who she would be loyal to and why she would be loyal to them. And cool. I do try to come up with just reasoning behind why that person, because she sorry, started that sentence 3 times. She views people as either valuable or not, is sort of her worldview. And that's not great. And it's very inconsistent with what she views as valuable about others. In the sense of, it's not always strength or that connection with nature, which are very important to her. And so trying to find out, okay, well, does she value that about the person, and or does she find that person valuable to her and her survival?
Yeah. Mia also asks, was it your intent for her when you started that she have this sort of back and forth worldview?
Yes, I think so. My intent for her when I first started with her was just the idea of her being feral. She's a kid that grew up in the woods and was, from her perspective, thrown away several times.
I'm glad we got that on film. That was really funny. And then Mia also asked, what is the decision-making process like for choosing how Shade's going to respond to a decision or to a situation? How do you go through that?
I generally start with Shade's worldview is very selfish.
Mm.
Yes, hello. So the decision-making process is often, does Shade find this person valuable and resourceful to her own survival? And or does she have a connection with her because she has felt so little connection with so few people? And now that she's starting to experience more people in the world and she's starting to find out that she does have a connection with some people, she values that. And so Harish is a shifter, and Harish values animals, and Harish values nature, and Shade can see herself in that, and she's not used to being able to do that. And so it's, do I feel seen, and can this person help me survive?
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Emily would like to know who came up with the idea for Nasaria hiding Kara's absence.
If I remember correctly, it was Eric as Kara doing that. And I really appreciate the way that Eric has used Kara to play off Nasaria. I think he's just created some really fun opportunities and interactions for a character that I created that's kind of, not kind of, she's very stuck up and she's very much a stick in the mud. And I appreciate the way that he has made that playful.
Yeah. Yeah, I have enjoyed that too. That's been a lot of fun. Laura would like to know, if Khyber Shards was a TV show, who would play Shade?
This is a great question, and I wish I had like a week. I am a researcher. I love to gather all of my information and all of my data and then make a decision. It doesn't mean that I would have changed my answer that I have come up with. But I would know that there are other things and people I considered that might not fit. I think the actress from Hannah, Esme Creed Miles, I think is her name, or I could be butchering it. I'm so sorry. I think she has that ability to play like the naive innocence that Shade has sometimes about the world, and then also turn on a dime and show that vicious side, that not relentless, but just doesn't care attitude about life or death. And a lot of that has to do with I've seen her in a role that has done that.
Sure.
And so I'm sure there are other great actresses that I'm totally forgetting. So if y'all have any ideas, I would love to know who y'all think would play Shade well. I also thought maybe Maisie Williams. I think Maisie Williams in her role as Wolfsbane plays that like innocence but with power really well, and then obviously with Arya showed that just die hard assassin side.
Yeah, absolutely. Nathan asks, Casey, have there been any points so far where what you want to do as a player and what Shade wants to do as a character have been in significant disagreement?
Constantly. I think that I hid it the least with the whole Dane decision making episode. I think that was the one that I probably hit it the least. Casey, the player, I love playing impulsively, and I love playing the hero characters. I want to do the fun thing that helps the people.
Sure.
And Shade, in that particular episode, Shade had so many things going on in her head about still feeling like she owes Ezri and Ari because of what they sacrificed. And so not even trying to consider what she would want to do in that situation, just the loyalty she felt she owed them because of their sacrifices. But yeah, that I think eventually at one point I was like, fine, this is what Shade would actually do.
Yeah.
But Shade's her desire for self-preservation over anything, I think is probably the thing that as a person, I think that I tend to be more compassionate and empathetic. And I don't think, other than her relationship with River, I don't think you could describe her as empathetic in any other way.
Yeah, that's fair. And then last quick question. Laura would like to know, did Shade give Ari his journal back?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It would depend if Ari asked for it back. I don't think Shade would willingly part with it unless he asked. Actually, in my head, I've thought about ways that she has added notes to it.
Oh, cool.
So that if she forgets again, her handwriting is in there.
Oh, that's cool. That's brilliant.
To be like, no, really, you know this person.
Yeah.
Obviously, she has really struggled with having forgotten him. And so I have been just thinking of ways of how would she implement a plan for next time. She doesn't want it to happen again.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. That's cool. I hadn't thought about that.
Thanks.
Well, that is all of our questions for this week. So thank you all so much for submitting questions. It's always good to be able to talk about character motivations and think through things like that.
It is a lot of fun.
I always love a good fan casting. So who do you think should play Shade? Let us know in the comments below. New episodes of Khyber Shards drop every Monday. New Khyber Shards answers every Friday. And until next time, thanks for rolling with us.